All right, welcome back to Developing Hurricanes, where we are recording before 9 in the morning, which is a very large difference than what we normally do, which is 9 o'clock at night. And that is mainly because, one, we're both free right now, and I'm skipping class for this, even though the class does not have a mandatory attendance policy, which is nice. And this is going to be episode 19, where I'm mainly going over the rankings that I just put out and defending it and giving an explanation. Maybe Matt can chime in with thoughts and ideas as well. Have a little bit of Kane's prospects information to go over, but it'll mainly be the rankings. And it's also because episode 20, which will come out much sooner than a lot of the other episodes that we've done, will come out very early next week, if I had to bet, probably Tuesday. And we got a really cool guest. I'm very nervous about it personally, just because it's someone that I've had conversations with before, but it's also the first time I've been able to sit down with someone of this caliber, I guess, and like actually interview them for an extended period of time instead of just being in a scrum with coaches and stuff like that. This is the first time I'll actually get to sit down and talk to. I don't know why I'm saying it'll be both of us,
I will
obviously,
also be
but
there.
yeah. It'll be the first
I'll just
time
be
that
sitting there watching
just
the interview.
hands up here, like, yeah, you're doing great, kid. Yeah, keep going.
There's a thumbs up the whole time.
Just the fallout, was it Pip Boy, where he's just thumbs up, like outstretched the entire time. No, it'll be the first time that I personally get to sit down with someone like this and get a full interview. So I'm very excited about that. And by the time, because this will come out Sunday, we'll probably be in the middle of that or gearing up to do that. So I'll probably say the guest before that day comes or give some sort of idea of who it is, just to drum up interest. But yeah, no, I'm really excited about it. And obviously I'm here with my co-host Matt. How we doing, Matt?
Doing great. It's a lot earlier recording this than we usually are. I don't know if you've said this already, but it is just about 9 o'clock in the morning.
I did say that in that 2-minute spiel, but yes.
Yeah, so it's early.
Oh yeah, no, it's weird. It also means I have no threat of my internet going out because all the people have gone to class, so my internet should stay alive. Dude, if that happens on Sunday, I'm gonna get so visibly
I'm
upset.
just gonna laugh.
I'm not going to laugh because I'm gonna be really pissed off. But
it's gonna make me laugh.
You're gonna be dying laughing, and
yeah,
I guess
it's gonna be like, great. There's not gonna be any issues.
It'll go swimmingly, and I'm gonna be really excited about it and the way it turns out, because it'll go really well. But yes, back a lot quicker as well. I think we recorded not too long ago. Well, I guess it would have been. Did we? No, I guess it would. Last time was December, like mid-December. I would guess late December, maybe.
It's been a while.
I thought it was a lot sooner, but
there was, a lot of the the winter break with there wasn't really a whole lot going on, and like the AHL is going on, and I think we're going to talk about that a good bit, but a lot of other prospects have either not been playing or have been hurt. We'll kind of talk about that too.
Yeah.
But Nick, you released rankings.
I did. It's the first time I've ever done my own solo rankings, because in the past we've done them together. I know we did the one that I had in there in May of last year, and I'm pretty sure we did one post draft, and it was on a podcast, and I never made a graphic for it, because I remember specifically having
that. So
I very specifically remember having a ranking on my computer in like the notepad of like where guys were, and I kind of forgot about it, and I never did anything for it. But yes, it's the rankings that I have for before the trade deadline, because more than likely something will happen with a prospect in the top 15 by then. So I wanted to have a benchmark of where things stood in my eyes. And I'm pretty happy with it. It was a it was a struggle at first, just because I'm like, all right, so I'm looking at the graphic from May. I have that up currently, and I'm like, well, Nikita Artemonov at 3. Okay. Scott Morrow at 2. He doesn't play here anymore.
Who was that? Scott Morrow?
Scott Morrow.
Yeah.
My favorite one Somebody replied yesterday and was like, man, Scott Morrow, where would he be now? And I was like, he'd probably still be decently high up. He was like, yeah, Matt soured on him fast. And I was like, well, I think we both did. um, so that,
Wow, somebody called me out.
yeah, which I thought it wasn't really a call out. It was more just like a joking, like, yeah. But I mean, to be fair, I mean, Scott Morrow's playing NHL games now. It does not help that one of the beat reporters who covers a lot of New York Rangers things is saying that, you know, there might be some very evident problems in his game that haven't seen a lot of development. But that's a whole different thing. Andre Krutov, geez, uh, Alexander Rykov, okay, and it's not even that Rykov's been bad. He's kind of just been the same, and he's been healthy. I just think there's been other guys that have kind of elevated up. Um, and I'll make a pyramid. I really enjoy the pyramid aspect instead of rankings because I feel as if the pyramid gives a better context to it all. And I also think more importantly for me, the rankings have never been a thing that I've enjoyed because I think people read way too much into rankings. I think having tiers and like guys put into tiers makes a lot more sense just for my purposes, but I do understand why people like rankings because it's like a definitive thing. But
Yeah.
if we are
With
just gonna,
this system especially, there's one guy at the top and then there's the very muddy middle.
yeah, I wonder if there was any. It was I was really wondering if somebody was gonna try and make a case for like anybody else in one. I was like, no, you physically can't. Um, like it was kind of the same thing when Nikishin was a prospect. He was just a tier above anybody else. And now it's
Yeah.
kind of hit the point of Bradley Nadeau being a tier above everybody else because my God, he's going to turn in two of the best like U21 AHL seasons ever
Yep.
in back-to-back years as a 19 and 20-year-old. Like this year, somebody had a stat and I don't know where it went because I'm very blind, but like the pace that he's scoring at for a U21 player is like really, really unbelievably good. I'm trying to stall time while I look it up. And of course I did it not all time, but like if we're going by like if we're doing straight up points per game, Bradley or like points, he has a 5 point lead on the next closest guy. One of them being Ilya Protas, and Protas has played 10 more games than Nadeau. Funnily enough, who else is tied for the second place is Felix Ungersorum, who has played 9 more games. And so, like, he's been doing unbelievable things in a shorter amount of time than most other people. And I think it just goes to show he's just been unbelievably good in the AHL. And it does kind of suck that the Hurricanes have a ton of top 9 wingers that they play because I think Nadeau at this point should be in the NHL getting top 9 minutes, especially on the power play, because I think he would be, a great help. But it is just one of those things, and I hope he gets a really good opportunity with the Canes soon, but it's just kind of a waiting for that to happen.
Yeah. I think, with the system in general, like, you kind of said it, Nadeau, there's really nobody else. It's everybody else chasing Nadeau in the
Yeah.
system. Like, he's got the production at the AHL level for 2 years. He's got the, good skating. He's got the high-end hockey sense, the elite shot, the playmaking, I think, has taken a step this year. He's a little meaner this year. He's definitely winning a lot more puck battles this year, getting to the middle of the ice a little bit more consistently. I mean, we've seen that on his NHL goals.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Nadeau, I mean, it's hard. I think, obviously I understand his NHL playing time hasn't been like that much, but like Rod Brindamore, that's not something new. It's not exclusive to Nadeau. Like they've kept it pretty consistently that way throughout his whole tenure as coach, where he won't play prospects in a major role right away.
Yeah.
I mean, when Svechnikov scored his lacrosse goal, his line mates were Brian Gibbons and Lucas Wallmark.
I mean,
Like, yeah. So, and I mean, say what you will about that. Like that's a different story for a different time. But like, it's not atypical for Rod to give a young player not even a short leash in the NHL, just like a smaller role while they adjust to the NHL minutes.
Yeah. So it is good. I'm very happy about that. As well for Nadeau, I think I don't know if I mentioned it in the explanation, but like one of the things I was worried about, maybe not worried about, but like one I wanted to see better was just his ability to produce 5-on-5, because I feel as if a lot of his points came on the power play last year. And that has been very evident this year that he's just been much better 5-on-5. He's been contributing not just on the power play, but at 5-on-5 and even strength and just doing everything correct. And again, it's just a matter of time before he's full time NHLer at this point. And
Well, it's
I'm
also
happy
nice
about
because I think the Wolves recently have shifted their strategy from like, hey, well, Nadeau's somewhere
it.
to like,
Yes.
okay, let's use everybody else. I think, the coaching change there may have had a lot to do with that.
Yeah. Maybe we'll even get to ask our surprise guest about that on Sunday.
Potentially,
Maybe. I feel as if it's very obvious who it is, but um,
you have made it very obvious who it is. Yes.
yeah, I'm just providing helpful hints in case people can't connect clues. Um, the one I think I was more shocked people weren't not confused, but like I was more shocked that people weren't maybe questioning that the second ranked guy I had was Charles Alexis Legault, because to me at least that is a very high ranking. But if I'm going off of what I had before and I look at who it is, like it was Moro, Artemonov, and Felix Ungersorm before him. And to me, Charles Alexis Legault has been the much not the much better, but a probably the best defenseman in the system over the past calendar year in terms of development, in going from a fifth round pick overager or double overager, I can never remember, to double overager, who was at Quinnipiac, to a really good AHL rookie last year, to becoming one of the first call-ups for the Hurricanes,
Yep.
playing in NHL games, not looking out of place at all. And obviously I think he would have been playing a lot more, and maybe we never see, or we might not see UL Nystrom until a little bit later, but I think Legault would have had a really good chance to lock down a close to full-time NHL role at this point because of the game that he plays. I said it in
Mhm.
there, I see a lot of what Legault can be in terms of what Brady Shea was for the Hurricanes. I see this big guy who is able to cover ground. He's solid defensively. I mean, Legault is going to be able to be a big penalty killer whenever he is at his
Mhm.
full potential. He can be a guy that you rely on to go out there first and get you hard penalty killing minutes. I'll give Legault the edge in physicality because I don't think Shea was ever a big physical guy, because Legault will actively seek contact and try and not hurt somebody because that's a bad thing, but
Well, he'll
he will.
fight people and hurt himself in doing so.
I mean, as long as he never punches down, we'll
Yeah,
probably be
right. Like
okay.
that's on him.
Yeah. That, and
Yeah.
like it's really funny because I have like a little, I can kind of see it, but I have like a little cut. I think I did something when I was lifting weights, but I have a little cut there and it really like stings. I can't imagine just like having that little area just cut open by a skate blade. That probably hurt crazy style.
Yeah.
So, but with Legault, I just see so much, like I see so much of a seasoned pro, and I can see a guy who eventually can be a second pairing right-handed defenseman, where he's going to be a really good penalty killer. He's going to be really solid even strength. They're going to be able to rely on him in a lot of big opportunities, and I still see areas of growth offensively as well. I think he's really adept at breaking the puck out, whether that be just with a pass or taking him out himself. He was doing it at the AHL level with a lot of confidence, but
Mhm.
the NHL is still a whole different beast, and he still has to get used to it. But I see a lot of potential in Legault, and that's kind of why I had him ranked so high. And it's probably the guy I'm most passionate about just talking about, because I just see a lot of good within his game.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Legault, I actually see more of like a Brett Pesce type in him because
Okay.
like I don't think he's going to be as good offensively. Like Shea moved the puck a lot better and had a better shot, and I don't think he was ever that great defensively. He was paired with a guy that was great defensively. Um, and
Yeah.
so I think with with Legault, next steps are to continue. I think he needs a little bit better, to be a little bit better with his gaps. He can get beat a little bit in the defensive zone. Just establishing more consistency there, working on getting the skating in transition, and then the offense can come and be secondary. I think Legault's bread and butter at the NHL level is going to be his physical, mean, aggressive style of play. And I think if he can continue to be in that mold, like I even see like a bit of like Jalen Chatfield in his game,
Yeah.
because I think, he can be that quick, scrappy, reliable guy that maybe doesn't, show up on the score sheet a whole lot, but he's never like, oh my God, this guy's terrible. Like you don't notice him a lot of nights because he's just doing his job and doing it effectively. I think that that's a possibility. I was a little surprised you had him so high, but then I kind of looked at it. We both ranked him. Taking a look back at our other
I think we
rankings,
both had him top 5.
you had him fifth. I had him sixth. I had
Ah,
Robida
okay.
ahead of him,
Well, that is
but
fair enough. Yeah.
I think, obviously Morrow and Artemonov, two guys that we had ahead of him. Like Morrow's gone. Like he is not
Yeah.
in the system anymore, and Artemonov has. We'll talk about it later. Um, I just think, I think with Legault being closer to the NHL, I don't think his upside is as high as a lot of the other guys in the system, but being so close to the NHL, I think that kind of puts him there.
Yeah. My I guess my grading scale for this, even though there really wasn't a grading scale, it was kind of it was a mix of like what the NHL potential can be and where they are at in terms of how close they can be to like an everyday NHL guy. And for me, Legault
Yeah.
was like, yeah, in terms of potential, I can see a top 4 guy. And in terms of NHL readiness, I mean, he's been playing NHL games this year and he looked really solid. So it was kind of
Mm-hmm.
easy for me just to do that. And again, I'm very bullish on him and just his future because I really see a good NHL player there. Felix is at 3. I think that one's kind of easy, especially after his incredibly helpful bounce back season in the
Yes.
AHL. I mean, he's passed his point total from last year in I think like 30 less games, and he's at 33. So there's a really good chance he'll double it up. I mean, really good. He'll definitely double it up by the end of the year, which is again really good for a smaller guy in North America. Maybe not smaller, but I think weight wise smaller because I don't know what it is about hockey players that are under 200, but they just can never put on weight. Like, just you're in Chicago. It shouldn't be too hard to put on weight if you're in Chicago,
Well,
right?
it's the muscle, and also with hockey being such a physically demanding sport, you do lose a lot of weight during the
Yeah, I'm
games.
just, I'm trying. And then 4 was the only goalie that I had listed, and it was Semyon Frolov. Best goalie in the pipeline. You can't even try and get an argument for anybody else.
Yeah.
No, he is really good, and he is one of starts the trend of injured players because my God, if there's a Hurricanes prospect out there, wrap yourself in bubble wrap. It
Yeah,
is
like
unbelievable the injury bug I've seen this year.
especially because all of them obviously listen to this.
Well,
Please,
hey,
please just do whatever you can to not get hurt.
yeah.
I do have like two things to say because we skipped over those two players really quickly.
Well, I'm trying to go faster
I'm
than
sorry.
I spent
I
a lot
just
of
I just want
time
to
on the
say
go, so
Felix again. It's the confidence. He has just been so much more confident with the puck this year. You can actively see it when he's on the ice. Right now, he has 11 assists in his past 10 games. That's
yeah,
incredible. Like he's
that's really
doing
good.
really well. So that's all I wanted to say about him. Frolov, I mean, for the 7 starts he's had this year,
He
he's
was
looked really
really good.
good. But that's it, and that's kind of tough because there's a lot of goalies in the Spartak system, and with him being hurt, you can't really see him jumping over any of them anytime soon.
I think he just needs to be healthy. I think he's.
Is
I
he?
mean, I personally believe he's
What's
one of the
the
better
what's
ones,
the
but
word there? Is he coming back?
I should really ask some people, but I just kind of forget a lot of the time. And I could definitely ask because there's a couple over there that I need to get confirmation on some injuries because my God. But yeah, I'll try and figure something out there and do that one day. The next two I'm gonna loop into one because it was an internal debate I had, and it was the same thing of like having Legault as high, and it was Justin Robida and Charlie Serrato because Justin Robida is probably the Wolves' best player this year, if not the second best player this year in terms of what he does. He's been unbelievably good in the AHL
Mhm.
level, and he will do everything at the AHL level. And I think right now he's an NHL player, and he probably would have had 100 NHL games under his belt at this point in time if his height started with the number 6 instead of the number 5. Um, and for me, I think Robida is going to be a long-term NHL player, and with the production that he's already had at the AHL and what he has shown, that is why I put him higher. That is not to say I like long term. If I'm thinking Charlie Serrato's peak will probably end up being higher than Justin Robida's peak, and that is not a slam on Justin Robida. I just think
Yeah.
Charlie Serrato eventually has a chance to be a second line center and a effective second line center. I don't know about like 70, 80 points, but I'm saying he's going to be good. And it's a
Yeah.
mix of a lot of things for Serrato, who, of course, is injured.
That's right.
God, man, that just unbelievable luck with these injuries
Robert,
this year.
yeah, I wrote about this month where I really like Justin Robida, but I do not see a path for him to make the NHL with the Hurricanes.
They only have like what 13 different bottom 6 forwards that they can play every any given night. Actually, no, I'm sorry.
And that's a good
They could
problem to have. It's
potentially
a good
lose
problem
one.
to have.
Sorry.
But I think
R.I.P. Noah Philip.
with Robida, you need there's a team out there. There has to be that'll give him a chance.
Yeah, I mean, he's good enough to give you bottom 6 minutes, penalty kill minutes, potentially power play minutes because he's
Yeah,
done everything and he's looked good in all those situations. And he
yeah.
can
So
even be a
I think
center.
there's
He can be a winger.
I think there's a world where Carolina explores a deal for him. But man, I really like his. I just really like the way he plays, but I don't see how he can make it to the NHL right now because Carolina is just so deep.
Yeah. Well, we
Serrato, I
can.
think we kind of saw like there's a little bit of inconsistency in his game. Like he's capable of elevating against top competition, but I don't think he's as good as I had maybe initially thought at the beginning of the year, which is fine. Like he got off to a hot start, and that's great. I think my gut tells me he turns pro, even though he's hurt right
That
now.
was going to be what I asked whenever you finished.
Gut tells me like he's 20 years old. He's over a point per game in the NCAA. Like I think it would do him well to be playing against better competition. But if this injury is as bad as it looked, and he's out for a while, and the Canes think, maybe hey, let's give him another year. I wouldn't hate it if he goes back to Penn State. Not at all.
Yeah, it's the injury really screwed things up because in my opinion, it was kind of simple to see him going pro, but now with the injury and he's going to miss a lot of time and
Did he
there's
get
still a
hurt at the Spengler
chance.
Cup?
No, he got hurt in his third game back against Minnesota.
Okay.
Um all I know is that it's a lower body injury, and if they go deeper in the tournament, in the NCAA tournament, or if they make the NCAA tournament, there's a chance for him to return, but
Hmm.
it's not 100% confirmed that he will. So I um, it
Yeah,
just
because he got
sucks.
hurt pretty early on in that game. I
Yeah, I
see.
think he only had like 3 minutes of ice time, something like
But
that.
this is the thing. I mean, he was good at the Spengler Cup, I will say.
Yeah, he played
But
against
you just look at,
Proton.
I
Yeah,
just look
there
and see like
there's stretches.
0 points in his first game back, where he had 20 minutes against RIT in a
Didn't they
zero to
lose that
one
game?
loss.
Yeah, they lost
What?
that game. They lost that
And
game. What was
then
I gonna say?
3 points the next night's great. And then obviously, you can't look at it. He only had 4 minutes of ice time against Minnesota. So like, but I just see inconsistency here a little bit.
Yeah, but we don't really know, and the injury has really screwed everything up. But again, I still really like Serrato's future, and also it's mainly I put it in the strengths, and it's just the dog trait because he's got a little bit of that dog in him, that piss you off mentality, and that is something the
That
Canes do not have
dog.
a lot of. He will get under your skin. I mean, he's getting under skins of players that can't even understand him for the most part. You realize how fun and cool that is? He made Alexander Rykov and Ivan Radkin so mad that they were trying to fight him in development
Yeah.
camp. That's sick.
Well, I also think that
We care.
Rabkin did something to make him mad too, or Rykov
Oh,
did something to make him mad too.
that sounds like something Ivan would. Oh, I guess not Alexander. Rykov actually seems like a very mild mannered guy, but Ivan would definitely do that.
Yeah.
um. So yeah. Next is my personal biggest riser in the entire prospect system in Alexander Siryatsky. He went from not being ranked and honestly not being too highly thought of just because, he was VHL for the most part and he was fine in the VHL. But it was kind of a rough, not rougher, but it was definitely a year of development for him. And he goes into the next year, comes to development camp. He looks really solid. He's big. He's fluid. He just moves really well. He defends pretty
Mhm.
well. There's a lot to like about it. And he goes into Metallurg camp, wins a KHL starting spot, and was a pretty solid contributor for a team that is very, very good. And,
Yeah.
he was getting use in overtime, which is really rare for U20 players who don't really have a lot of KHL experience. He was getting power play minutes as the quarterback. He was on units with, guys like Sergei Tolchinsky and, and Roman
Dev Camp
Kantsarov, who's really
legend.
good. Hey, it's still very funny. Uh, and it's great to see younger Russian guys get these big opportunities with KHL clubs, and for Siryatsky to continue to have that up until, of course, what happened to him?
He got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt. To have that opportunity for him to get big minutes and being trusted in these big situations as a 19-year-old is really, really good. So for me, I value him playing in the KHL at 19 and getting this opportunity. I valued that highly comparatively to some other people, other defensemen that I had on the list. So for me, Siryatsky looks really solid. And again, for the love of God, please just play hockey again this year because it sucks seeing all these guys injured and it makes my heart hurt.
He's good. I really like Alexander Siryatsky. I think he's one of those players that I have a lot of time for because of the physical tools, like the 6'4", the skating, the at least decent offense. I think there's some at least semi interesting traits, with the hockey sense, and like he's a guy that just projects as, again, like a Charles Alexis Legault, where you could see him just because of the size and the skating making it to the NHL in some capacity.
Yeah.
And I think there's a long road ahead because obviously there's a lot of stuff going, that just has to go on. Like he's in the KHL,
What do you mean by
and
that?
I mean he's this is his first year playing in the KHL. Like I think there's a long road ahead for him to make it to the
Okay.
NHL.
I,
Yeah,
I, it's fine. And we've also seen the NHL
he's also
archetype of
20. Not even,
He's
not even. I
he's
don't even think he's
19,
20.
Matt. I've said it
Yeah,
multiple times.
yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. It's his second year. Like it's his second year in the system. Like
I know.
so
I
saying that
know.
there's a long road ahead. Like that's just a fact.
Hey man, we've also seen the NHL reward big guy skate good
Yes.
defenseman. Ben Sherratt being the number one example. $4 million for a dude who stinks.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
I
Alexander Sigatsky is Ben Sherratt, but I'm
no.
saying
Yeah.
big guy skate good archetype for defenseman normally rewards you down the line.
And I think if Siriansky can get at least like one or two of the other traits of his game to be above average or like even elite, you take that every day.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it's
So
even cooler because I didn't have it pulled up, but Siriatsky was like a 5th round pick, I think, 5th or 6th. He
fourth,
was a yeah. He was a later pick, and he's already
late fourth
looking really
round.
solid. Yeah, I keep bringing up that 2006 born Russian defender graphic in my head where it was I believe it was Anton Silyev at number 1, and then it was Kane's prospect, Kane's prospect, Kane's prospect, and it's really funny. And the first one to become a KHL regular was somehow prospect 3, the middle guy. Even though, okay, so it was Timur Cole, Alexander Sariatsky, Roman Chakrin. For me right now, I think I'd flip Sariatsky and Cole, but other than that, pretty solid. And Cole also did get much more KHL game time much quicker. So, you know,
but has since gotten zero.
well, that's a
Yeah.
discussion
So
for a whole nother time.
no, I know, but I'm saying like it's at least interesting.
Next was Justin Poirier, who was another decently high riser. For me, anyways, you actually had, at least for the May 2025 rankings, you had Poirier in your top 10. I
Yep.
did not, but he was, I think, one of the first few out. And I think mainly it's just because he's had really solid production at the college level and has shown that he can handle some of the tougher, more physical games. Even though there is still some inconsistency, I think he's on a decently cold streak right now. But smaller player who is handling college better than I think I expected, and
Mhm.
happy with it.
Yeah, only
Oh,
1 point in his last 5 games, but hilariously, in the 5 games before that, he had 10 points.
I think he had 9 points in 3 games, and he was
Yeah, he
playing.
did.
I was that UMass Lowell or
He had 3 against Lowell and then 3 in back-to-back nights against Lindenwood, which
okay, so at least the Lowell game looks much better than the Lindenwood games because Lowell's
yeah.
actually a good team.
But I mean, I think with Poirier, it's the Justin Robidas situation where like I have a lot of time for this player. I think that they that Poirier plays bigger than his size would indicate. I just don't know what the path is for him to get to the NHL because Carolina has a lot of wingers like that.
Yeah, I will say though, I don't think they have a lot of wingers with his level of shot.
That's true.
So there's always going to be he will always have that one standout ability comparatively to a lot of other guys is that his shot is crazy good. Next up is Yoel Nystrom, who we both of us caught some flack for not having him in the top 10 last time. And my reasoning was I didn't expect him to get to the NHL level this quickly. I think eventually there was a world where he could have been an NHL player because of the way that he plays in the game and the style that he has. And I honestly just didn't expect it to happen this fast to where he has become, an NHL guy, getting rewarded with a 4-year contract. I wasn't expecting that personally, and I think it shows that he just plays a very pro style of game. He's calm under pressure. It's a simple breakout, it's a simple game. He has a really solid shot which he really uses more than I honestly expected. And I have listed in there that he probably will play 500 or more NHL games in his career just because he's your perfect 6th defenseman at the NHL level. He's calm, he's cool under pressure, he can kill penalties, he'll pass it if you need to. He's got a good shot. He's just a very solid NHL defenseman, and I have him in the top 10 now.
Yeah, with Nystrom, I actually thought he'd be a little higher. Um, just because of the fact that he played in the NHL.
No, fair enough. Yeah.
I definitely see what you're saying. I do think, and I think Carolina giving him the contract extension with the dollar value that they did kind of reflects that. Like, he's not going to be more than a number 6.
Yeah. But he's your perfect number 6. I
But
think
he's,
that's
yeah,
the.
I mean, I even think he's been quite good. He's played almost 40 NHL games now.
Oh, that's not.
And in those games, I think he's improved with every game. He rarely makes mistakes. I think with me, what surprised me the most is the defensive game in North America came to him a lot more naturally than I thought it would. I thought there would be a longer adjustment period, but he picked up on it perfectly. I also wasn't really giving him a whole lot of time a day just because of his age.
Yeah, he's 23 now.
Yeah, he was 23 entering the system last year.
He was 23 entering. I'm just gonna say you're right.
His 24th birthday's in May this year.
Oh yeah, so this. I mean, he'll make his one-time appearance on the top 10, and then we will salute him for graduating the system.
Oh, he'll graduate, which is great. Yeah. This is what we want. We want him to graduate to the NHL. But I think with Nystrom, I wasn't giving him a whole lot of time because like his SHL production was good, but not like fantastic. It's a weird archetype of player where like he's not that big, he's really not that physical, but he's like smart defensively and like does this. He's like if Vladimir Gradinin was like good offensively.
Okay, there's just no need for that at all. That's insane.
But like it's a weird archetype because like you don't really see a lot of like sub 6 feet defensemen.
I don't know why. Sorry, I was trying to prepare something, but
yeah, and like this is perfectly fine. Like,
I was going to say like, this is your perfect
just about,
sixth
like, league average defensively, and he's above average offensively.
Yeah, it's the perfect sixth defenseman.
Yeah,
legitimately, it's awesome.
Most sixth defensemen in the league, you also have to think most sixth defensemen in that league are well under him.
Yeah, 100%. And the compensation he's getting, especially in a rising cap world, beautiful. It's amazing. So
go pull up the bench shot chart.
Oh, okay. I guess
because there are probably defensemen I'm pulling that up in the lineup, getting more minutes than Nystrom is, that are worse than him.
So Timur, while I pull this up, the next two that I have actually play for the exact same team, which I think is funny. That would be Timur Cole and Kervin Limitov. I am very flip-floppy on the two of them. I can be talked in either direction on ranking either one of them higher. I only had Cole higher because, one, he has KHL experience at this point in time, as well as I think his production at the MHL has been better, even though I think Kervin Limitov is probably, you want to talk about a Brady Shea guy, that's probably who I should have said because there's probably a lot more aspects there.
Kervin reminds me a lot of Shea.
So, yeah, I can be talking either way on those two, but I had Cole over Limitov, and just because Matt said so, audio listeners, I'm sorry you can't see this, but this is Sherratt versus Nystrom. And
here's the thing, man. Like, charts don't say everything. Like, I'm a staunch believer in analytics are a piece of the puzzle, not the whole puzzle. But my God.
Yeah, Sherratt's getting $4 million.
For the audio listeners of this podcast,
everything was
red. A single category that's even like remotely close to the blue, which is good. Everything is like a solid red.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Okay.
So Kervin and Cole, the K boy. Ooh, maybe I should call them that.
Yeah, we're not calling them that. With Timur Cole, he's another guy that I'm like, I am secretly, not so secretly, I've said it, really hoping he comes to North America next year.
I think he'd be a really good Wolf.
He is a 6'5" defender, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God, he's 6'5" now? I thought he was still 6'4". I think Chakrin is the one you're thinking of who is 6'5" out of the.
Chakrin, the 6'5" one.
Out of the three they drafted,
Timur Cole is 6'4", 205, which is
big
great.
Boy.
and he has good offensive instincts. He does not turn 20 until August, late August at that, so he's
Yeah.
still very young. That's kind of the theme with a lot of Carolina's 2024 picks. Is a lot of the defensemen a lot of the guys they picked were on the younger side of their draft class, which is interesting.
Mm. And
But
actually, Timur Cole's 207 now. He's gained 2 pounds.
oh,
Good
has
boy.
he? EP still has him at 205.
As we've learned, or as I've learned with Yoel Nystrom, EP is a little slow on updating some things because they had Yoel Nystrom, I think, at 6'1" or 6'2" for a very long time, and he is not
They're not
that.
as slow as EA, which
Oh, Charles Xlago
lead
wasn't even in the game for like a
were
year.
yeah. So, anyways, but yeah, I mean, he's almost a point per game as a defenseman in the MHL this year. Like, you know, he's very clearly too good for that level. I do not know why he's not getting a higher opportunity. My only guess, and I think the reason why Ska moved him in the first place is because he was going to go to North America when his contract was up.
I think
It's just
it,
like
it
you don't see, because like you don't see a team move on from a guy that they're giving KHL minutes to already in the final year of his contract unless he's not going to be an asset for them in the future.
I was going to say he kind of felt like a natural replacement for Scott to replace some of what Alexander Nikishin was, and I'm going to stress some because
Yes.
there's no way you
Yeah.
can replace him, and I've seen it firsthand this year. They can't replace him. They tried with Matthew Phillips, and it stunk, and it's bad. Nikita Zaitsev is still there, which is kind of funny, but no,
Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong. I think as of right now, it's wishful thinking just because I have no
Mhm.
idea. I won't know more until much later in the year when I start having to invest heavily into these things and last year was my first real taste of it.
Yeah.
So this year will be another year of that. And I would like to see it. I think it'd be a really helpful thing for the Wolves. And I was more of the line like, well, you're going to have to replace probably Gavin Bayruther, Dominic Fensore's on a 1-year deal, Ronan Seeley's on a 1-year deal. So you're going to have to replace a lot of guys. I think Cole would be a nice one if you
Yusuvalnaki.
could, if you could have done it. And then, they traded Gavin Bayruther and then brought in a god awful person. Yeah.
Like, is Noichev like?
Oh no, I was talking about defensemen.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
I
Okay,
don't
I
know a
was like,
lot about Victor
what did I
Neuchef,
not know
man.
about Noichev?
No, I don't really know a lot about Neuchef. It just seems like he's
Okay.
an AHL producer. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know about that. I'm just talking about defensemen.
Moving on to Kerbin.
Curb.
I He fascinates me because
I love him.
he
Lost for words, dude.
if he works, it's going to be fascinating because like he plays like he thinks he's Cale Makar.
And he's 6'4".
Yeah, like he wants to control the puck. He wants to just be hyper aggressive, chip in offensively, join the rush, do all of this stuff. And he's good at it. He's a good skater. And honestly, like he had a slow start, but he has 11 points in his past 10 games. Like he's been very good recently.
A lot of that also comes from he's good at moving the puck. He makes a lot of smart decisions. He also jumps a lot.
Yes.
He plays a very aggressive offensive mindset where he's jumping. I've seen him in front of the net multiple times.
Yeah.
I've seen him on a breakaway.
Well, the last goal that he scored, he's like wide open in front. He had 9 shots on goal in his last game.
That's
Like,
also Dynamo Moscow is just unbelievably good. I got to make that
yeah,
abundantly
and they
clear.
were playing. I don't know. I can't pronounce that, but
I got it.
With Kerbin, I feel like he's one of those players where if it works, it's going to be unbelievable.
Mm.
But there's a lot of ways that archetype of player can't work. Because if he can't adapt to the NHL style of play and how the NHL works, it's going to be difficult for him to carve out an NHL role. He has the advantage of being a bigger defender, so there's obviously some changes the Canes can make to his game.
Yeah.
I'm just fascinated to see how this works out.
Yeah. And by the way, that is Kuznetsky Medvedi, and that is the MHL club of Metallurg Novokuznetsk, where
I see.
Paravelov and
Okay.
Guslitsov play. Next up is Ivan, who I have a lot lower than I probably expected to, but I had a lot of guys that I currently maybe not value, because I think Ivan Ryabkin would have a lot of value if you did end up moving him, just because of the player that he is. And I still think name value holds a lot of weight in terms of players, and Ryabkin, who was lauded as high-end guy and now is where he is, even though I still think Ryabkin whenever you said if it works, it would be really, really good. Could you imagine Ivan Ryabkin at his peak, and you get a player who loves to just do small, annoying things or very big, annoying things, i.e., whack a goalie in the head, a couple cross checks, the calm, casual things,
You're getting like a Travis Konechny, Sam Bennett type.
as a center. And he's annoying, and he's hyper physical, probably too physical at times. And he has a crazy good shot, and it's a whole bunch of things. But for right now, even though I've said it multiple times, I think AHL, he was okay. He wasn't spectacular. He was just okay.
I think
He was better than what he was. Yeah,
and I would like to talk to our guest about.
Yes, that was going to be one of the things I had written down. Like, we need to add. Okay, we're 46 minutes, and if you're listening, we're talking to Spiros Anastas on Sunday, and we'll have that out next week. But we're going to ask him a lot about the Wolves, and I think Ivan was going to come up no matter what, just because I think we're both intrigued about. I want to know, like, what was his thought process going in for his development, especially with an 18-year-old playing professional in North America for the first time. I want to know that, like, what his plan was, and I want to know kind of what he thought of how Ryabkin did before he got moved, because I'm very intrigued on that.
Yeah. Well, and I think with Ivan at the NHL level, if it works out really well, you're getting, like I said, Konechny, even like a Nick Paul, just like an irritating ass player to play against.
Yeah. It would be.
You could also wind up with like Nick Cousins.
Some people like Nick Cousins. He was voted most punchable face, so he's doing something right.
I don't think that they like him very much at all.
I mean, if he has the most punchable face, he's doing something right.
Well, sure, but like, you know what I mean. Yes. Anyways, but I also think like there's a long way for him to go, and I'm not like, I don't know what it will take to get him to the NHL. I think his QMJHL tape has been encouraging, because this is what he should be doing. Playing, by the way, with former Express recruit Ryan Staples.
Wow, that's okay. You'll never believe what Ivan Ryabkin currently is, though, for the QMJHL. Injured.
Yeah.
I don't understand what.
At least I think his is supposed to be pretty minor, though.
I have no clue. I don't know what karmic god decided to just mess with the Hurricanes prospects this year. The curse of injury. The curse of injury has just been cast. Like,
it's not just the Hurricanes this year. It is very much the entire system.
I'm just saying, like, dude, out of the top 12, I think half of them, or over half, are injured currently or have been injured and missed a good amount of time this year. It is ridiculous. Bro, Suryatsky, Frolov, Serrato, Ryabkin, Cole missed, I think, a month or a month and a half. Just stay healthy, man. I like watching tape. Stop doing this to me. Even Poirier missed a tiny amount of time this year with an injury.
Rabkin could be very interesting. Let's move on to Finn Wolfhard.
I think Badinka might be funnier than Finn Wolfhard. Um, yeah, Dominic Badinka, and I guess he is a faller in terms of where he was at least in May because he was 7 for me and 8 for you. I honestly wouldn't even say he's a faller. I just think other guys have risen. Okay, no cameras. Apparently, people
Yeah.
have to work nowadays. Sure.
Ugh.
Um, yeah, I Dominic Vidinka, it's not so much as he fell in the rankings, it's so much though that I thought I currently I have Limitov, Cole, Nystrom, Siryatsky ranked higher. I think Badinka's handled the AHL fine. It's always going to be weirder for these younger guys. He is 20 to handle transitions from Europe or Russia to North America because it's faster, it's more physical. He has to catch up to a lot of things. And for Badinka, his acumen in the SHL was his defensive ability, which kept him in the lineup. So, and that's what I've seen the most of. I've compared it a lot to what I saw from Charles Alexis Legault in his first AHL year. I think there's a lot to like. And again, Badenko's probably just going under the radar because, the point production maybe isn't that high, which it isn't. And, you don't obviously see a lot, but I'm normally watching Wolves games and I'm going, Badenka's been fine because you don't notice him. And for defensemen like Badenka, if you don't notice them, it means they're not doing something stupid, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's been fine. Like, he's not going to be like a world beater, right? And I think the offensive game, it's a work in progress for him. I think there's a lot of potential with the way he plays. I like him. I like he moves the puck very well. He's very good defensively. I think he makes a lot of really good reads in the defensive zone. I'm still not entirely sure what the upside is, but given again the size, the skating, it's like an Alexander Siriatsky thing. Like you bank on those traits, and you kind of see what happens after that.
Yeah. Sorry. Alexander Rykov has drawn 2 penalties today at the KHL level. That's pretty cool. He got hit in the head and broke up a one-on-one. That was kind of
Hell
cool.
yeah! Way to get hit in the head, Alexander.
Good job. Don't get CTE. Speaking of Russian wingers who have fallen in the
I thought you were
rankings.
about to say, speaking of CTE.
No, speaking of Russian wingers who have fallen in the rankings, the biggest faller who basically who was standing on solid ground and then just had a rug pull like I'm promoting a cryptocurrency and just decided, hey, all my fans, F you. Nikita Artemonov. He okay. 21.2% shooting percentage last year. I was making jokes like, yeah, that's totally sustainable. As it turns out, the jokes were correct. Not sustainable 21% shooting percentage.
Be that as it may.
Apparently, guys, a 21% shooting percentage isn't sustainable. I wouldn't have guessed it. And, the start of the year where he's bouncing around leagues and he's getting no game time, and now he's with a new team and he's still getting bounced up and down the lineup, and his point production has gone whatever is below ice cold, like frozen solid maybe. I don't
Yep.
know. I mean, I guess I don't. I'm trying to find the words to say without just sounding outright just pessimistic. It's just this year has just been. No, what was the book? Alexander and the No Good, Very Bad, Terrible
The horrible,
Day.
no good, very bad day, or
Yeah,
something
it's
like that.
basically
Terrible,
that.
horrible, no good, very bad day. Yeah,
It's
that's
basically
it.
that for Nikita Romanov, but stretched over a whole season.
Yeah.
And I think potential wise it might have soured a little bit on me to where I was like, he could potentially be a top 6. And now I'm like, well, the bottom 6 is still good. You're still going to get NHL games more than likely. And I will also say I still see Nikita Artemonov as an NHL player down the line, but
There's
I
a path.
I don't see the higher end player that I might have saw last year when he was leading a team in scoring. I think now I just kind of see a like if you took Michael Bunting and took away some of his offensive ability and you just inserted there. That's kind of what I see Nikita Artymonov as now.
Yeah, I mean, man, I don't know what to make of Nikita Artymonov.
They massacred me, boy.
And the reason I don't know what to think of him is it's just he doesn't really exhibit any like elite forms of creativity. I don't think he's particularly skilled with the puck on his stick. I think he has some I think he has really good instincts. Like he's able to read the game really well and be in the right place at the right time, and there's a lot of value in that. But I just don't see it being I don't see him being a consistent producer at the NHL level. And given his size and the lack of creativity and skill in his game, I do wonder if he is capped at, or I do still wonder if there is even a path, if there is even a path to the NHL still.
Well, me personally, I do see it, but it is a lot rougher now just because my lord, this year just kind of stinks for him.
Yeah.
Last defenseman that I have ranked, and technically the last ranked player, even though if it was not for me completely forgetting about Yoel Nystrom still technically being a prospect this year, Noel Franzen, who Matt likes a lot more than I do, I guess, even though I do like Franzen to a certain extent. Before I fine-tuned my rankings, I had NHL comps, which I quickly found out I was like, I'm not doing this for all these players. This sucks. So I
Yeah.
was like, well, for Noel Franzen's for me was really easy. Just take Tony DeAngelo, make him left-handed, and make him Swedish, and you have recreated Noel Franzen. You've
Without the
created Noel
baggage,
Franzen.
hopefully.
Well, hopefully being Swedish, but I don't know about Swedish politics. It beats me. But basically, he at his peak, he can be what Tony DeAngelo was on ice, which is a guy who can get you 40 to 50 points and run a power play. At that same point, there's probably a decent chance he'll be a little bit of an anchor defensively. And maybe he grows into maybe the defensive stuff grows, but at least to me, the skating combined with the offensive traits, that's kind of why he's there. But
Yeah.
Tony DeAngelo, Swedish.
Yeah, there's always a chance, right? I think um with our
That one really got you,
good
huh?
friend Noel here,
Friend of the
the
pod, Noel.
reason I like him so much is I think the skill in the skating is undeniable. He's got the size. You can help him at least not be like a black hole defensively. And so that aspect of things really intrigues me.
Yeah. And
And I
again,
think there's a lot to like there. Will he get to that? I don't know.
he's another guy that I wouldn't be entirely shocked with coming over to North America because his contract does expire at the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems like a guy that I think the Hurricanes or the Wolves wouldn't hate to add, because if you look at some of their right-handed defensemen that they could have next year, I think he'd be a pretty solid addition to the defensive group, even though I think the defensive group as a whole is going to look wildly different.
True.
But I think Franzen would be a really solid player to have in North America. And honestly, I mean, I could even see him being, even though I think Dominic Fensori is much better defensively, the skating ability and the offensive ability. I mean, Noah Franzen gets the added, I guess bonus of being a few inches taller. So
Quite a
I
few. I think Franzen's like 6'1", 6'2".
I think he's 6'2", I think. But yeah, the last player I had listed, I was debating between. Actually, I wasn't debating at all. He was actually prospect 15, and then I forgot about Yoel Nystrom. So I had to make sure I include him in some way because he deserves it at this point. It was going to be one of the honorable mentions were going to be one of Ekberg or Hazayev for me. I think those are the two guys who competed for honorable mention spots outside the top 15, and I'm probably forgetting someone, knowing me. But no matter what, I needed to include Jaden Perron, in my opinion. I think he another scout was talking about it recently, but Jaden Perron is one of the most dynamic players with the puck on his stick that you will get to watch. And it's unbelievable what he can make happen. I mean, we're talking about a player who is running a power play unit. He's at the point on the power play for Michigan, the number one team in the country. That's as a forward, which first up, shout out Bob. I don't want to say Naruto because I don't think that's correct. That's the anime character, but it's something like that. I just don't know how to pronounce his last name. But give shout out him for letting Perron. All right, I'm sorry that I don't know the pronunciation. It's my bad,
Bob Naruto.
dude. It's N-A. If I'm not mistaken, it is Narauto. Is that not how you spell it? Okay,
I don't know.
somehow that just pulled up SpongeBob as Naruto. That was not. Hold on. Michigan hockey head. How do I say this? Brandon Naruto. Okay, I am so sorry. Naruto.
Oh, that's staying in.
But no, it's N. Okay, his last name is also Naurato. I'm guessing that's Naruto.
Oh
I'm sorry. If you hear this, Brandon Naruto, the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, I am very, very, very sorry for mispronouncing your name. But Jaden Perron is really awesome to watch. I personally enjoyed tuning into Michigan games. One, because they have a ton of talent, but two, it's just because Perron is really, really fun. If there's a fun factor, Perron is up there for watchability because my God, puck on his stick, he is just able to move. He's able to play make. His shot's underrated in my opinion. I think it's a lot better than I expected, or I think it is. And obviously the height, it's going to work against a lot of these guys, but I still really like Jaden Perron. And with this year and refinding his confidence with Michigan, I think no matter what, he had to be included in some way.
I agree. I think he's been a lot better this year. Like you mentioned, the confidence has definitely been there. I just think with Perron, how can he get his game to the next level? How can he remain consistent? Because I think there's more hope for him now to carve out a pro career. I think he's been a lot better, but it's still I need to see more Jackson Blake out of him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I don't think you'll see that. But I also, if we're comparing Perron and Blake, I think Perron is much more dynamic.
He's a better skater for sure.
I'm also talking. I could sit here and talk about Jackson Blake for such a long time because I love the player that he is and what he does, but we don't have time for that. So, but that's the rankings. Like I said, the first few guys I thought of after Jaden Perron, I had Philip Ekberg and I had Ruslan Hajayev. Somebody mentioned Fyodor Avramov, and respectfully, even though I love Fyodor, I can't say that yet. Personally, I don't think he's there yet. Krutov was somebody that fell out of the rankings. Just weird year this year for him. He's played all three levels of Russian hockey, and he's playing for a new team now. And it's kind of awesome because 13th forward, he got a minute 4 minutes, 2 minutes, and then 11 minutes of ice time. 11. And then today he got 3.5. So I think that's awesome. Simon Forsmark was a guy that you had ranked who falls out of the rankings now just because production is and he's also going to not be a Hurricanes prospect in about 5 months, more than likely. Yeah, other than that, there's really nobody else I kind of thought about outside of mainly Ekberg and Hajayev. So that's the rankings. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very good ranking. You know, I messed up really bad by putting Forsmark in there. At the time, I think we still thought he was going to sign with the Hurricanes, and that's why I put him there, because I was like, okay, there's a path for him to kind of do what Joel Nyström did this year, and that just never took off. That never happened.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously, I'm not perfect, and we'll get things wrong as well. And like, I think with this ranking, it kind of, for me at least, I don't know, and I don't know how you feel, you could kind of talk me into maybe about 3 or 4 players in this system to be the number 2 guy.
For me, Legault, Felix, Frolov, Serrato. I think for me, you could confidently say any of those 4 guys are the number 2, and I'd be like, okay, I can see it.
Yeah.
I see why.
Like I can't do the same with Robidas. Like, I actually think Robidas is fine where he is at 5.
Yes. It's like my most confident
But like,
one.
there's a lot of guys in the system where, like, Serrato, you know, I could see him being anywhere from 6 to 2 in the system.
Yeah.
Felix, I honestly, I can't see him being lower than 4.
Yeah, he's
Frolov,
2, 3, or 4.
kind of the
He's 2 or
same
3.
deal.
Frolov, I feel very good with at 4. I think.
Yeah, but it shows like there's
tier 1, and then tier 2.
Yeah, and then there's a very murky middle, and then you get into, like, with Siriatsky, you could talk me into putting Poirier, Nyström, Cole, Limitov, Rabkin, maybe Badinka ahead of him.
Yeah, it's certain. Like, again, that would probably be my 3rd tier. Would be like from Siriatsky to probably Ryabkin, and then Badinka would lead the 2nd. But yeah, that's why I like doing pyramids so much more, because I feel as if it creates much more of a clearer picture. Mm-hmm. And eventually I'll get to making that, but that'll be for a different day. Even though I quickly
inspired me. Maybe I need to do some rankings this next month.
They're fun. And then we can do another episode about your rankings, and then it'd be funny. It's also really fun because Saturday is the 1st of the month, so I'll have the top 5. This episode will go out on Sunday, and then Tuesday we'll have the Spiros episode. So
that's true.
Very busy time for me over the next few days.
Put out a tweet at this point.
Whenever this comes out, I'll be like, "Hey, we also say who the guest is, and we're recording with them today."
Bonus episode this week,
or like episode 20 will be like the special episode where like we have a guest and it's a really cool one. Somebody, whenever I was talking about all the my personal account story, somebody asked if it was Darren York, and I was like, "Whoa, that would be a dream." And it's going to stay a dream, but that would be an insane second guest to have. Go.
I had him on once or twice with
Alex and Brandon.
The one pod was a solo one because nobody could make it.
I think I remember the first time I met Darren York, I introduced myself, was like, "Oh, you're not Matt." And I was like, "No, I'm not going to ask you to do a podcast." No, he thought it was funny. That was also, I think, 2 years ago or 3 years ago at this point.
Then now we have to keep that promise now. Damn.
If you ever want to try and reach out to him, be my guest. I'm not going to stop you, but okay. The only other 2 things I have. one of them we've kind of talked about a lot, where we were talking about Nadeau and Robida. I had the comparison to Shaq and Kobe because they both have 16 points in their last 11 games. They've legitimately been like unbelievably good for the Wolves. And I also want to ask Spiros about them because it seems like they have worked really well together. And I think I just want to ask him what he thinks has allowed the offense to kind of show through a lot more because they've scored a lot. Like, I think they've scored 4 or more in like Spiros' time. They've scored 4 or more a lot. So I want to know what the offensive idea has kind of transformed into. And I think that'd be a good thing to ask. But that was one of the points I had was just Nadeau, Robida, Shaq, and Kobe.
Well, they were playing very boring hockey before.
All right.
And now they're not.
And you know,
there was one Wolves game that I covered for you like a couple months ago where I vividly remember being like, this game. I remember thinking in the middle of the game, like, I have not tweeted in a while, but there was nothing to talk about. It's just, it was them against Manitoba, and it was just
that's already a horrible matchup.
Yeah. So
yeah. Ooh, and then the only other one I had was another KHL move for Hurricanes prospect. Timur Mukhanov gets moved from Severstal to Torpedo. And it was something I honestly didn't expect. Mainly because I didn't really know if they'd actually move him, I guess. But they did, and he went to Torpedo and played 13 minutes in his first game, and then I believe was healthy scratched in the next. So that's always fun.
Gotta love Russia, dude. Gotta love it.
Dude, I think it's great. I cannot wait to visit it one day. That's on my bucket list. Some things need to happen before I actually need to visit. Go to visit there. But
quite a few.
I would say so. It's so early in the morning that I'm like looking at rosters to see who's playing, and you know, Stanislav Yarovoy is about to play. Roman Bausov about to play. Roman Bausov's actually been really solid since coming back from injury as well. I think he has 5 points in 8 games, something like that.
That's good. Yeah, I mean he's I think he was always going to be a bit of a project.
Hey man,
just because
6'5", good skater.
6'5", great. I mean, he's a great skater. Even I would say for his size, he just needs a lot of work in the other aspects of the game, and it sucks that he was hurt to start the year.
Oh, I didn't realize he's played 14 games already. My God. Okay, that beats me. But I mean, he's already in 14 games. He's almost halfway to his production from last year. That's incredible. I think. Great. It just really sucks that he was injured for most of this year.
Yep.
Yeah. Injuries suck. I hate him with all my heart.
Yeah, the Canes as a whole have been very hurt this year, so hopefully that trend stops. Well, Nick, I think that's it, right?
We actually ran over your time limit, so oopsies.
We did, but that was
yeah.
That was kind of on me. I did have to adjust here twice.
What do you mean? Our cameras are on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Yeah. So if you're still listening, thank you. I'm very glad I got to explain my rankings more. I'm glad Matt was able to give insight. Obviously, if you listen this far, you know that we are going to record our 20th episode also. Kind of a cool thing. I did not think this would get to 20. I thought by now one of us would have gotten sick of the other. But we made it to 20, and very special and cool guest of Spiros Anastas for the 20th episode. By the time you folks are listening to this, we'll either be recording it or just getting ready to record it. So that'll be really cool. yeah, thank you all for listening, and we will speak with you next time and for our 20th episode with Spiros and Estes. I still cannot believe that's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see you guys then.